So here's her Berserk Final Fantasy sword. Hello humans of the universe, heroes, villains, and everything in between. I'm La Pokemo, and today, Absolute Wonder Woman. If you like this video and want me to cover the other ones, I can. Although that video might take a while since I'd probably do it in all-in-one, and I'd have to buy the comics first. But anyways, let's go. Are you kidding me? You said 5 issues. God damn it. It's a stupid joke. Story. Oh yeah, the video. So, Absolute Wonder Woman, as you can imagine, is different from regular Wonder Woman, the biggest way being her origin story. By the way, this version of Wonder Woman is sick and fucking gnarly. Anyways, she was sent to Hades, aka Hell, and is the last Amazon, and was, get this, raised by Circe. And guess what? A child changes you. And in my opinion, I think this origin story is really unique as a different version. And I just find it very interesting, and it's just very sweet. But what's cool about it is that Wonder Woman learns magic and has a different lasso, and a very unique lasso at that, with transfiguration magic. Obviously, it's Circe. That's kind of her whole thing. And can we step back for a second just to say that I love Greek mythology, like I love it a lot. I have a book. That means something. I've been playing Hades and I've been listening to Epic and I'm a weirdo, but I love Greek mythology and I love Wonder Woman, and I think this comic does that very well. I just specifically want to talk about her personality for a moment. I really like it because I think it gets the fact that she is a warrior down, and the fact that she's a lover and she cares deeply. It's just very well written, and she just looks like an epic warrior, you know? In this story, she sacrifices her arm to send Steve Trevor back to man's world and get him out of hell. I mean, this is something else. She is so visceral and yet so sincere. She's willing to sacrifice to a crazy extreme. Like, it just really makes her feel like a warrior, and I really like that. Also, she's really kind and she talks so well. Like, she talks so respectfully and in a way that commands respect and yet always has the best outcome. Like Etta says here, she just feels like a built from the dirt warrior and a gentle princess at the same time. Like, she's freaking warrior lady and Aurora. What? She talks to animals? She has a Pegasus? But since it's split, the Pegasus is dead. It's the perfect balance. Her sword, I think the lasso is what makes her weapon shape shift from axe to sword, but I could be wrong. She might just have both of those weapons, so don't hold me on that. But I think I lost the plot. Let me go back. So we see her origin story raised by Circe, and she's really kind to animals, and she generally makes Circe's life better, and they make a little home out of their quaint corner in hell. And then one day Steve washes up on shore and they take him in, and then Wonder Woman cuts her arm off to send him back to land of the living because she's a warrior and she has a greater reason for existing. She's the last Amazon, and she will do whatever it is in her power in order to help anyone in any small way. She gets given the lasso I mentioned earlier, and she learns how to use it. At first, she thinks it's quite cruel, but later she comes to understand that she learns to use it. It's more of a weapon meant for the future situations and things. And just the camaraderie between Wonder Woman and Circe is crazy. They take care of each other. She refers to her as mother. Her chant is different. She is no longer Wonder Woman of Themyscira, daughter of Hippolyta. And it's crazy to see, even deep in hell, in these circumstances, she is still Wonder Woman, an Amazon, a warrior. Also, by the way, the art style just revs up between the 5th and 6th issue like a mofo. I mean, what the heck, it's crazy. And then it goes back to what it was before. Like, I love this comic, and maybe it's because I love Greek mythology and superhero epics, but this story is just so cool to me, and like the perfect over the top. Anyways, Pegasus was a gift from Prometheus, and I like the portrayal of the characters. Although Hades could use a glow up, he's just like soul goo or something. I think it does encapsulate like the hatred and selfishness of a Hades. Like, he's this like goo monster that's like, so it does work in some senses. It's just obviously the first thing I think of is just Disney, because, you know, Hercules. Also, there's these really cute watercolor pages that are just a small little story of young Diana, and it just warms my heart. There's like a few of them spread out throughout the comic. Anyways, Wonder Woman gets free of the underworld, but she can still visit, which is nice because then she can see her mother again. Man, I just love adoptive parents. It's just really cool. Also, I'm gonna read the story so far that the comic gives us because it's better than mine. It's at the start of issue 8, and it goes as following. As punishment for unknown sins, Zeus stole Diana of Themyscira from the Amazons when she was only a baby and had Apollo leave her in the underworld to die. But the goddesses who helped make her moved into the shadows to ensure Diana would survive. They placed her with their greatest sorceress Circe, who was also trapped in the otherworld. Denied her paradise, her heritage, and banned from even the word Amazon, Diana nonetheless became a great warrior, gifted incredible power by the goddesses, and taught by the most dangerous witch in the world to be an instrument of justice and reckoning. But long ago, as the goddesses had willed, Diana escaped the underworld for the surface, to be a great champion and protector of humanity. She defeated an ancient mythological beast called the Tetracide, preventing it from destroying Gateway City, her new home. Now she moves across the world, saving it at every turn possible, while also searching for her lost sisters, the Amazons. This is Diana of Themyscira, witch of the Wild Isle, daughter of Circe, last of the Amazons, the Wonder Woman, hero of Gateway City. So yeah, and then we get introduced to Dr. Poison, and we go into a maze where we meet Ferdinand, aka the best Wonder Woman side character ever. But the problem is we fall into a pit with a giant threat, and that's where the comic ends, awaiting issue 11. So thoughts. I really like this take on Wonder Woman. She's still stubborn and has a sharp tongue, as Hades puts it, but she's also very loving and kind and sees things in a way no other person sees them. The way she views people's choices and her perspective on all things is unique, and this version of Wonder Woman has magic. Now granted, it's nowhere near as strong as someone like Zatanna or even Wonder Woman's mentor Circe, but it's still strong and it brings about a lot of unique fighting scenarios. And this comic is definitely working up to something big. We can see that in the simple fact that the gods were heavily involved in her survival, well, the female gods. In her path, she is forged for something, but we are of course unsure of what it is to come. But we do see is a kind person just trying to do the right thing. At the end of the day, that's all we can really ask for in a superhero, right? Now, as far as side characters, we have Steve, obviously. I talked about how he died, went to hell, Wonder Woman cut her arm off to send him back, yada yada. Although I believe we still are yet to know how Wonder Woman got up to the human world the first time, only how she can get up there now due to pomegranate seeds and Greek stuff. And the next side character is Barbara Minerva. I've still yet to figure out what their angle is with her because she is obviously a historian and she seems to be very interested in Amazons and all their history and the arcane. Kind of shown by her wanting to watch Wonder Woman do her sacred rituals. I'm unsure if it's leading to a villain arc or not, but of course with certain names you want to always keep your eyes peeled. And then we have Etta and her sister. They are important because, well, Etta is obviously in many Wonder Woman comics, but more importantly to me at least is her sister. She's the one who supplies Wonder Woman with all her material needs in her witch work in the human world. So I'm very curious to see how her storyline goes and if we see more magic stuff introduced with her. We're also yet to know how Wonder Woman purchases property in man's world, but I'm sure eventually we will come to understand, or they can just write it off with magic. But I do find it all very interesting and I see a lot of room for many different plot directions, so we'll just have to see what they go with. As for her villains, the main one of importance in this moment is Veronica Cale and Dr. Poison. In the story, Veronica Cale has ties to the government, but at this point it's a little uncertain what her place is and what she plans on doing with Wonder Woman. As for Dr. Poison, she is a big thing of poisonous gas as a human, or in like a form of human gas form, and is forced to reside in an uncomfortable World War I hazmat suit. So all we know now is that Veronica Cale has a dangerous sound on her hands and Dr. Poison is doing her best to amplify it, and probably even more so now since Wonder Woman stopped them the first time. But this is technically not our most pressing issue because as of right now Wonder Woman is stuck in a maze with Queen Clea.
Oh no, the condensation! Emma! Oh no, Cleo!
If you don't know who this is, in regular comic books, she's basically runs an underwater city where women rule and stuff. In this comic though, she's trapped in a maze and has fishermen working for her as she tries to take a siren. So that's a front view of the most recent threats. So I guess now it's time for my final thoughts. I really enjoy this comic. I like that we get glimpses of her childhood as we go through the story. It gives us an idea of how Circe is around her, what she means for the future, and just who she is. Because she radiates such kindness in these panels in a way only a child can. In the one where she fights the tiger, presumably Artemis, or at least sent as a vessel for Artemis, goddess of the hunt, if you didn't know. Very important in Greek mythology and very important to Wonder Woman since that is one of the female goddesses she worships and calls upon for strength. But more importantly, she fights for what she thinks is right and won't just throw her fists around without probable cause. And there's this thing she says that even gods make mistakes and if the best of us can do it, so can we. And she's also not afraid to hold gods accountable. That definitely comes from that big mouth of hers. But the way she views actions is quite unique, as she states that humans more than anyone choose to be cruel, and in instances they are even crueler than the gods and all the monsters she fights. And for me, this kind of perspective is one that is quite balanced with the Trinity, just because they all see the good in people, but they definitely all view it in different ways. And that's pretty curious to me, just because of how different compassion can be viewed and shown and executed. I really enjoy her new upbringing. It definitely shows how different they're willing to go with these stories and how much they're willing to change. Obviously, she has the same personality because she is still Wonder Woman, but I find it interesting to point out nonetheless. Just because when you see the cover of one of these comics, your first instinct, at least my first instinct, was this is probably one of those overly edgy Wonder Woman comics that's just gonna suck. But I was wrong. And I think it's just the right amount, because all the edge in this comic comes from things and lengths that Wonder Woman is actually willing to go. And I think at points it does a good job at encapsulating the darkness that lies in Greek mythology and its stories. Because at the end of the day, a lot of Wonder Woman is pulled from that, and her kindness and personality sharply contradicts this, which is what makes her so enticing. I think it's also unique just because she looks so dramatically different than the personality, right? It's unique, at least to me. Like, she's this pure thing that, in spite of what the gods want and the odds, she doesn't have a false ulterior motive or this hidden agenda. She is unapologetically her, and like most other superheroes, people don't believe that and hate them for it, because there's just no way someone can be that altruistic and good and kind. There's always something behind the curtain. If that's how you are, then of course everyone else has to be that way too, because it's just human nature, right? But superheroes always push us to challenge our views and to just see people for who they are. Wonder Woman went into the maze to find a fellow Amazon, but instead embarked on a journey to save a friend she just met moments ago. Not for herself, but because why not? Why not help someone? Obviously, it's no-brainer. If you can help. Here's something interesting in issue 3 of this run. I believe Wonder Woman calls out to the people living in the city she is protecting. She asks for their help in any way. She makes them deaf so they can't hear the monster in order for them to help. She gives the call, and guess what? Almost no one answers. And why? Well, because they are afraid. Because they are selfish. Because they simply don't want to help. Because as Ares puts it, I'm paraphrasing, and using a general idea, obviously, that's how humans are. They are selfish in nature. They are not kind, but Wonder Woman protects them anyway, because she sees a flicker. Like she says in this comic, one man can make a difference. To take this quote with you: if you need to stop an asteroid, you call Superman. If you need to solve a mystery, you call Batman. But if you need to end a war, you call Wonder Woman. And shout out to all my subscribers. You guys are very patient, and I hope you all enjoy this video and the next one. Hopefully it'll be coming out in like a week or two. And I just hope that you got something out of this, and tell me what you did think about this video and what you would like to see next. And as always, stay cool, stay weird, stay you. And I'll see you next time.